Welcome to the Shabbat Channel, a taste of CSAIR in your inbox. We wish that we could be with you in person, but for now we think this is the next best thing. So check out this week's episode for music from an amazing artist and Torah from our own CSAIR community. For now, you'll have to supply the Kiddush. Shabbat Shalom.
Hello, CSAIR community, and Shabbat Shalom. My name is Rebekka Goldsmith, and I am thrilled to be spending this Shabbat with you in song. I'm going to be sharing a song with you today from my new album called Seeding the Tree. The song I'm going to share is a song called At the Edge of the World. And this is a song inspired by the 7 beggars story by Rabbi Nachman of Bratzlov. Now, Rabbi Nachman of Bratzlov was famous for spending his days in meditation in the fields, seeking a closer relationship with Hashem and learning from the wisdom in the natural world. This is a story of the heart of the world and the water spring and a great love and a distant love between them, and how acts of kindness are the very thing that bring them together and make life happen on the earth. At the edge of the world stands a mountain. At the top lies a rock. From this rock flows a spring. At the other edge of the world stands the heart of the world, yearning for the spring. The space between the spring and the heart is impossibly wide, impossibly far. How can love survive? If the heart moves toward the mountain, she will no longer see the summit, no longer see her beloved spring, and she will die. Instead, she gives the spring the only gift she has to give, one sacred, precious day of time. The space between the spring and the heart is impossibly wide, impossibly far. Will their love survive? All days do end, even holy days like this. When dusk comes, the lovers know it's time. Just when the spring is dripping away, the heart is nearly broken. The world is coming to its final resting place. The space between the spring and the heart is impossibly wide, impossibly far. Has love died? Then a compassionate soul who's gathered stories of kindness sees the great love, sees things slowing to stillness, whispers all the kindnesses into the wind, giving the heart and the spring water flows through the heart of the world, spreads across the body of the earth. The essence of time is kindness. The essence of love is kindness. The essence of the whole world is kindness. Shabbat Shalom.
Is there a blessing for receiving the COVID vaccine? Early this week, as I watched the TV reports of those little vials of vaccine making their way towards the first recipients, I felt many things. I felt sadness for the many people for whom these drugs will come too late, those who suffered terribly, and those who died and continue to die in astonishing numbers. And along with this, I felt gratitude for the scientists who developed the drugs, for the factory workers who produce them, for the drivers who deliver them, and for the medical professionals who will administer them. I felt hope. I felt optimistic that if we stay focused on wearing our masks and being physically distant for just a while longer, we'll be on the other side. I felt life asserting itself. I wondered what blessing I would say if I'm privileged to receive the vaccine. I did a little research and discovered that there are many options. Of course, there are many options. Studying the Parsha helped me clarify which one I hope to be able to choose. In Parashat Miketz, we find Yaakov's sons back in Canaan. There, they tell Yaakov that the Egyptian ruler, we know it's Yosef, but they don't, kept Shimon in captivity and that he wants to meet their other brother, Binyamin. Yaakov is justifiably upset at the thought of losing another son, first Yosef, then Shimon, and now Binyamin. Two brothers come forward to try to convince their father. The first is Reuven. He's the eldest son, and he argues that Yaakov sent Binyamin in his care as a way of demonstrating just how carefully he will guard Binyamin. He says, "You may kill my two sons if I don't bring Binyamin back to you." Yaakov isn't convinced. Yehuda, another brother, takes a different tack. He reminds Yaakov that without Binyamin, they won't get food. And we, the readers, know that without this food, the family might not survive the famine. And then Yehuda says, "Send the boy in my care, and let us be on our way, that we may live and not die, you and we and our children, v'nichya velo namut, that we may live and not die." Yehuda adds that he takes full responsibility for bringing Binyamin back safely. And with that, Yaakov relents and sends them on their life-saving mission. So why did Yehuda's arguments convince Yaakov more than Reuven's? Professor Tzvi Shimon of Bar Ilan University notes that Reuven's offer to kill his sons if he does not bring Binyamin back fails to convince Yaakov. This focus on death could have created more anxiety for Yaakov, not less. But Yehuda understands his father. Professor Shimon writes, the story of Yaakov's life is one of continuous survival in the face of life-threatening situations. Think about it. Yaakov, over different points in his life, fears that Esav will kill him, Lavan will kill him, or the Canaanites will kill him. Yaakov mourns the loss of his beloved Rachel, and then the imagined death of his son Yosef, and the incarceration of Shimon, and the idea of having many children and grandchildren to fulfill God's promise. That's what motivates him. Yehuda understands all of this about his father, and in his speech, he quotes what Yaakov said to the brothers before their first mission to Egypt. Yaakov then said, "Go down and procure rations for us there, that we may live and not die. Nichyeh velo namut." The possibility of life for him and his family move Yaakov past his fears, and he allows Binyamin to go to Egypt with his brothers. Nichyeh velo namut. I thought of all this when I considered what bracha might be appropriate when receiving the COVID vaccine. One option is a powerful prayer in the Talmud that said, upon receiving medical treatment, may it be your will, O Lord my God, that this enterprise be for healing and that you should heal me. There's also a beautiful bracha that thanks God for being good and for sharing goodness with us, Hatov v'Hametiv. I can imagine people choosing either of those other options that are being suggested, or just sitting quietly and offering a meditation that reflects really what is in your heart. For me, I think the blessing that I'm going to say is the one that says over immediate and personal joy. A simple Shechianu v'kiyamanu v'giyanu lazman hazeh. Praised are you, Lord our God, sovereign of the universe, for keeping us alive and sustaining us and allowing us to reach this time. Yehuda knew that the most basic desire of human beings is nichyeh. We should live. Shechianu, who has kept us in life. Those little vials of vaccine, I think of them as our Hanukkah miracle. Like the small containers of oil in the temple, they offer hope in a dark time. And along with that, they offer the possibility of health and life in its fullest sense for us, our country, and the world. Shabbat Shalom.
Just when the spring is dripping away, the heart is nearly broken, the world is coming to its final resting place. The space between the spring